YouTube, come on in. Welcome to Mo's Knows. I am your host, Mose. Today we continue in our series called The Checkup. That's right. We are checking in with all 32 teams across the NFL landscape, seeing what players they lost, see what players they added, checking the starting lineups for offense and defense as we are headed towards the start of the 2021 NFL season. Today, we take a trip to Minnesota and we're going to tap in with the Minnesota Vikings. Let's see what's going on over there by checking with the players that they lost first. We'll start with left tackle Riley Reiff. We'll also go with tight end Kyle Rudolph, who have been a staple with this Minnesota team and in this Minnesota area with the fan base. Safety Anthony Harris, who played really well next to Harrison Smith. Cornerback Mike Hughes, no longer with the team. And linebacker Eric Wilson. So those are some really good names on that list. Maybe not world beaters, all-stars, pro bowlers, all pros, but some really good names, some solid contributing players on that list. Moving over to some of the additions that they made. Cornerback Patrick Peterson coming over from Arizona. I mentioned in the Arizona video that it's going to be really weird not seeing Pat Pete in a Cardinals jersey. Sometimes you don't feel any type of way when a player changes teams, but it's going to be really weird seeing P2 in the purple and gold. Defensive tackle Dalvin Tomlinson comes over from the Giants. Wide receiver D.D. Westbrook comes over from the Jaguars. They also bring in defensive tackle Sheldon Richardson. They bring back defensive end Everson Griffin. And then they also bring in cornerback Rashad Breeland coming over from the Kansas City Chiefs. Let's take a look at this Vikings offense. We'll start with the offensive line because I think that's an area where they're going to struggle a lot. At left tackle, you might notice that says Rashad Hill and not Christian Darrisaw. Christian Darrisaw has been injury riddled ever since he was drafted by the Vikings. So much so to the point that he has not taken a snap in a preseason game or a practice, I believe, throughout the entirety of training camp. So that is a big blow to this Vikings offensive line. They were anticipating Christian Darrisaw coming in and holding down the fort at that left tackle spot, but unfortunately he's unable to do that. So Rashad Hill right now is the starter. At left guard, we have Ezra Cleveland next to him. In the middle at center, we have Garrett Bradbury. At right guard, we have Ali Udoh. And at right tackle, we have Brian O'Neill. So I think the loss of Riley Reiff is going to be big. Not having Christian Darrisaw is going to be big. This team has a lot of really good weapons, but if the offensive line isn't able to protect Kirk Cousins and to give him time and clean pockets for him to go through his reads and his progressions to hit these open targets, and if they're not able to open up holes for Dalvin Cook, it's going to be really difficult for the Vikings to move the football on the offensive side. My cousin Devin, huge Vikings fan. My friend Scott, also a big Vikings fan. They've expressed their frustrations with this offensive line and the team's lack of ability in addressing the offensive line as a problem. Yes, they went out and got Darrisaw, but as you see, I think they could use an upgrade at right tackle as well. They could use an upgrade at either one of the guard spots and at center. Obviously, you can't address the entire offensive line like that at once. But don't let that fool you, because the Chiefs did it. The Chiefs traded for Orlando Brown Jr. They signed Joe Thuney. They drafted Creed Humphrey. They drafted Trey Smith. And Lucas Nyang was on the team last year, but he opted out of 2020. He comes back. They have a brand new offensive line. But with the, if you want to be technical, with the exception of Lucas Nyang, for of their starting offensive linemen weren't on the team last year. So it's possible for a team to focus on an area. And there wasn't much change as far as the offensive weapons and quarterback. There wasn't much change on defense. So the Vikings could have followed the Chiefs playbook and just focused strictly on offensive line. Get somebody in the draft, which they did. Bring over a few free agents. Maybe have a couple of players in the tuck that you've been developing that you can throw in the mix. But it's possible to address the offensive line. Chiefs did 4 out of 5. Their whole offensive line is entirely revamped. So it's possible. The Vikings chose not to do it. So we'll have to see. Kirk Cousins is our quarterback. Dalvin Cook is our running back. Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen, wide receivers 1 and 2 respectively. D.D. Westbrook comes over from the Jaguars and he fits right into our slot receiver role. And at tight end, they have Irv Smith Jr. Moving over to the defense, Daniil Hunter, Stephen Weatherly at defensive ends. Again, Everson Griffin will also be in the mix as a rotational pass rusher. You have Dalvin Tomlinson and Michael Pierce up front at tackles. Sheldon Richardson is another addition, so he'll figure to mix in with that defensive tackle group as well. So that defensive line is pretty solid. Some really good players, some good depth on the bench for rotation. So I like that. Eric Kendricks, Anthony Barr, Nick Vigil round out our linebacking core. Big fan of Eric Kendricks and Anthony Barr. So the front seven is pretty decent. The back end, we got Brashad Breeland, we got Patrick Peterson, Harrison Smith, I believe, just signed a contract extension. Then you have Xavier Woods at our free safety spot. So the defense isn't bad. The Vikings defense isn't bad. But if their offense is not moving the ball and the defense is constantly on the field getting tired out because the offense can't sustain drives, that's going to be a problem and it's going to be tough for them to win games. They're in the division where, the Bears are up and down, especially if Andy Dalton is their starting quarterback. We don't know how good the Lions are going to be with a new quarterback and a new head coach. We know that the Packers are sitting atop this division. So the Vikings can be in the mix for, coming in second in that division and maybe fighting for a wild card spot. But that all is going to depend on how well this offensive line plays. If they're able to keep Kirk Cousins protected, upright, and give him time in the pocket to make his reads and keep this offense rolling, as well as opening up holes for Dalvin Cook so that they're able to run the ball and effectively then use the play action pass. So we'll see if this offensive line is able to hold up. I think the success of this Vikings team is squarely going to fall on the shoulders of those 5 guys up front. That's going to do it for this episode of the Checkup with the Minnesota Vikings. Scott, Dev, let me know what you think. Let me know what y'all feeling. Now that the preseason is over and we've got down to the 53-man rosters, are you feeling comfortable? Are you feeling better? Are you still pessimistic? Are you still worried about the O-line? Is Kirk Cousins, making you mad, still being your starting quarterback? I love to hear from you and all you other Vikings fans. Let me know how you're feeling heading into the season. If you enjoyed this video, please consider giving it a thumbs up. It helps me, it helps you. It's a win-win situation for everybody. If you want to tap in with me on social media, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, anything else, whatever your preferred means is, I'll have it all linked in the description. Please feel free to reach out and connect with me there. Thank you for your time and attention on this video. Again, I greatly appreciate it. You're part of the family now. It's nothing you can do about it, but you can make it official if you have not already subscribed, and hit that subscribe button. Become a know-it-all. And then once you do that, jump over to that bell icon and smash that for me so that you get notified every time new content drops right here at Mo's Knows. Love and appreciate you, and I'll catch you in the next episode. Be easy.